Hello, this is Peter Ngeno from Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. Saying good afternoon from this side. It's an afternoon time right now. And I'm so glad to be here again and to share something on the billion coin. I'm so glad and I'm so grateful for such a wonderful opportunity. In the blog, there's been so much information which has been shared by the admin, and I always like to go to it and go through together and get to learn what is there in the blog. And I am going straight away and share my screen and be able to learn together. To the blog, then we can get to learn something on getting used to the grains. When I go to the blog, first of all, you can see it says market crash on November 23rd. There is a video, there is videos, there is image. And then we have some video. We have how to get millions of cookies before you redeem. Then we have this information on how and when to contact the commissioner. Angles are peer-to-peer private medium of exchange. Just want to check it together and see what is there. It says Twinkles are a peer-to-peer private medium of exchange. Private medium of exchange. That is a poster. We have, are your dreams tangible enough to achieve them? Then we have King Cash Flow shares his story. Then there is this story I wanted to, okay, we can go first and get to go through together on how and when to contact the commissioner of the TBC. How and when to contact the commissioner of TBC. This is the information message sent by the admin to all the TBC community. So it says to the TBC community, how and when to contact the commissioner. It has come to my attention that several people need the commissioner's help but don't know how to get it. It's also true that several people assume they don't need to communicate with the commissioner, especially if the commissioner is contacting you. The cases where you should contact the commissioner. The below are the cases where you should contact the commissioner. Number one is if you plan to send a large transaction totaling more than 40,000 grains of gold. You're planning to 40,000 grains of gold. Let me just check that one. Let me just check 40,000 grams of gold is how much? 40,000 is, that is over $100,000. Over $100,000. If you're planning to sell that, what do you do? You contact the commission. It is your responsibility, if you're going to send that much in crinkles, that you document your exchange and notify the commissioner of this exchange. It's also important to understand that you do not need the commissioner's approval to do this transaction. Go ahead and complete the transaction. All that is required is to notify the commissioner help desk of the transaction. Share documentation if possible and follow up once the transaction is complete. You will get a response from the commissioner to proceed if you have not already done so, and to be reminded to keep your documentation on the exchange of TBC/crinkles. Warning: if you send a large transaction such as described above and do not contact the commissioner before you do the transaction, both the sender and the recipient will have their send buttons turned off until investigation is complete. It will be turned off. Be proactive and contact the commissioner if you plan to do large transactions. Only open one ticket and be sure to reply to the ticket. Opening multiple tickets on the same topic or multiple topics at once will result in your information being lost or not responded to properly. Number 2, if you are a victim of fraud, scam, or theft, the Commissioner's Office does investigate these cases to the best of our ability. It's important to not burden the help desk with fraud issues. They'll forward you to the Commissioner direct. Document your situation and case, and remember, if you give or have given out your credentials to anyone, you are making a mistake. The help desk and the commissioner will never ask for your credentials. Beware that fraudsters are out there to take advantage of you. If you are unsure if an email or a website is fraud, why not send a note to the commissioner for advice? The solution to fraud cases will greatly depend on the situation. You should never give your credentials to anyone expecting them to steward your account or exchange on your behalf. You should never give your credentials to anyone expecting them to steward your account or exchange on your behalf. The TBC009.net wallet is encrypted, and the help desk or the commissioner do not have access to your security answers or your password. The only way for someone to get this information is by not keeping your credentials safe. Provide as much detail as possible. Only open one ticket and be sure to reply to the ticket. Opening multiple tickets on the same topic or multiple topics at once will result in your information being lost or not responded to properly. The cases where the commissioner contacts you. There are cases where the commissioner of TBC will contact you. The commissioner receives a daily report of transactions conducted at 40 grains in one single transaction or more, and multiple transactions totaling 200 grains or more each day. So 40 grains is $100. 40 grains is $100. So you will be sent an email requesting you contact the commissioner to explain the nature of your transactions and provide documentation of the exchange of price to prevent discounting. You are required to respond to this inquiry through the commissioner help desk, not the Crinkle.Cash help desk. Details on how to contact the commissioner are provided, as well as instructions to not reply to that email but rather follow the instructions in the email. If you ignore this message and continue to conduct transactions without documentation, your send button and your recipients will be suspended until you comply. Only open one ticket and be sure to reply to the ticket. Opening multiple tickets on the same topic or multiple topics at once will result in information being lost or not responded to properly. You can contact the commissioner here. This kringlecommissioner.on.spaceworks.com/portal or by email at help@kringlecommissioner.on.spaceworks.com. Be sure to include your email address, wallet address, and all relevant information. Tickets missing this information will be delayed in resolution. Abuse of the commissioner help desk will be grounds for having your access to the help desk blocked. Do not contact the commissioner for password, cookie issues, complaints, or suggestions, Crinkle.Cash issues, or other help desk matters. You will be referred back to the help desk. You may be asked to prove that you are who you say you are. In that case, the commissioner will direct you with what information to provide. Lastly, the commissioner can only help you. Any of your referrals or other parties will have to contact the commissioner themselves. The policy is strictly for you and by you. Thank you for your cooperation, the commissioner. So those are information from the admin about contacting the commissioner of TBC. So it is very important for us all to have this, to learn when and how to contact the commissioner, especially regarding our transactions, and maybe when you're planning to do transactions of that amount that is over equivalent of, with an equivalent of $1,000 going up, or an equivalent of 40,000 grains of gold. So we need to contact the commissioner, and we have been provided contacts and website where we can contact the commissioner. Let me try that. So just want to check the page where we can contact. Yeah, here it is. You raise your ticket, and then you attach, should you have the documents, you attach them there, and then you submit to the commissioner. This is very important and very vital information to all of us as TBC community, to all of us as TBC community. So it's wonderful, and it's actually great getting to have that information. And we thank the admin for always guiding us and giving us such wonderful information. Just wanted also to go through this, which says it's time for broadcasters, the TBC community to ground themselves to gold. Poster article. We should ground ourselves to God. So you see this poster as private and as public. We all know that as TBC community, we are private. We are not public. We are private. We are private. So we don't want any confusion about our private status in the world today. Public regulators are looking for any excuse to rob our private currency and tie us down because they could care less about our mission to end poverty globally. Understand one thing, government is force. Force is the nature of government, and they rule over the public. Yet governments are bound by law. It is my opinion that as a whole, humanity lacks the maturity to live without government today. So here, admin is government. Let's check that. Admin is not anti-government. Admin is not anti-government. Of course, I will never support the abuse of power that continues to come out of government. Even today in modern times, private societies such as ours have lawfully existed for thousands of years to my knowledge. Private simply means outside of the domain of government. Private simply means outside of the domain of government. Private equals self-regulated. What we are doing is lawful, and it is important that every member behave in a lawful manner when they are talking about TBC. Research has shown us that we are grounded when we compare the value of our private currency to the value of gold, but can be problematic when we compare our value to any fiat or money regulated by any government. This is the official call out to all broadcasters and every member of TBC to stop comparing our coins to fiat. So we should stop comparing our coins to fiat currency. We should always compare to the value of gold. Just as we stated we would in the first public notice, we have removed the reference to any fiat from our websites. Clearly, our admin fee is 4 grains of gold. We encourage and reward transactions that are done at increments of 40 grains of gold. The government did not make gold. See that? The government did not make gold. Mother Earth has provided us this gold, and she won't stop us from measuring the value of our coins against the value of gold. We don't want to upset any government regulators by our words, and that is why we need to embrace the reference to gold and stop referencing fiat. So we should all the time reference our coin to gold and not to any fiat currency. As you can see in the poster below, we have mapped cash flow achievements in grains of gold, and you should know that a third-party calculator for grain is on your Crinkle Cashback Office dashboard. There are 408 in 1 troy ounce of gold. All TBC members should be experts in grains of gold. So we should become experts in grains of gold. So when we look at these steps in cash flow achievement, starting below, where you make up to 40 grains of gold a day, then you move to the second level where you make up to 100 grains a day. That step where you make 200 grains a day. And then you go to 400 grains a day. You go to 1,000 grains a day, level 5. And then where you make 2,000 grains a day in level 6. This is large amount of money when you get it in a day. TBC stock Pringles are not backed by gold, and that means we are not pegged to gold either. The value of our TBC Pringles comes from our members, and we measure that value in grains of gold. We do not want to be sloppy in making this clear when we are inviting others to join us in our private community and society. Now, the value of TBC, the number of living men and living women that join us in agreement as members. We simply measure that value in gold. We simply measure that value in gold. This is serious matter, and we want to be at peace with all governments and their respective regulators all around the world. We don't interfere with the public, so they should not interfere with that. Admin asks for your full cooperation, and thank you in advance for it. So admin is asking for our full cooperation in making reference to grains of gold as opposed to the previous where we used to make reference to the fiat currency. So this is what we should be referencing. We should be doing referencing to grains of gold and not fiat currency, not fiat currency. So the admin has advised us to always make reference, to embrace the reference to gold and stop referencing fiat. Embrace this is encouraging us to embrace reference to gold and stop referencing fiat. Stop referencing fiat. So in the blog, we have information, and when you become a student of the blog, you'll be able to learn a lot, and you keep yourself from unnecessary loss, unnecessary interruptions by so many other situations. So now What we are seeing, if you check the first, the, the latest is about a market crash on November 23rd, where these market-based coins are somehow losing value. So you get to watch that clip, you'll be able to understand those clips. And then when you go to this one, you can see where the market prices, they are tending to go down to the level of $4,500 $4,500 from $7,400. So it has gone down, and once coins are in the market, the value of those coins is determined by the market environment. It can go up, it can go down. And here you can see it says, do you see the market manipulation in Bitcoin? It can be manipulated. There's kind of manipulation in the market. And this can really mess the coins. But we thank God because of our coin. The coin is not market-based. It's private and it is abundant-based. And the value of our coin is growing every day. When people are signing up to be members, they increase the value of our coin by a grain of gold. So we are in a good path, and somewhat, we will be able to get to the ultimate price of our coin, and where the price will be unlocked and the coin will be liquid, and we'll be able to transact and trade and do trading using our private coin. So it's a great opportunity. For us, it's a great opportunity for us, and it's good that we are going to grow and be able to reach that ultimate, and finally be able to fight and eradicate poverty. So it's a wonderful experience, and thank God for this great opportunity. So as for me here from Nairobi, want to thank you a lot and wish you the very best. And thank you for watching my clip. And though somehow the net is somewhat slow, but want to thank God sincerely for this opportunity. Have a wonderful time, and may the Lord bless you and keep you, all of you, in Jesus' name. Amen.